Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Associate Dean Vanderlaan Smith, and I want to welcome you to the pre-business information meeting. This meeting is very timely as it's going to be helpful to you as you prepare for spring registration, which I understand the schedule should be coming out later tonight. We'll see. But before we get started, I have 4 brief housekeeping items I would like to go over. First, as Dean Quinones mentioned, please mute your mic so that we can reduce the distracting background noise. Secondly, we are here to answer your questions. If you have a question, please post them in the chat session. I'll be monitoring the chat and we will address your questions either this evening or we'll follow up with an email to you. Third, please, if you can, keep your camera on, as it's really much more interesting to see people's faces, particularly as you go to the breakout sessions, than it is to see a big initial or to look at a static photo. So thank you for that. And lastly, the main session is going to last about 30 minutes. Then we're going to have 2 breakout sessions, giving you 2 opportunities to learn about the major or concentration that you're interested in. The first session is going to start at 7 and the next at 7:30. So you would be able to go into one session, say you go into finance at 7 and then marketing at 7:30. You can select and join the breakout room that you want. So you're going to be able to do that on your own. However, if for whatever reason you're unable to join a room, don't panic, simply stay in the main room and we'll get in touch with you and we'll get you to the room that you want. But please be patient as we go through that process, but we will take care of you. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dean Quinones.
Great, thank you, Joyce. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you being here. Tonight, there's 2 goals here. One is you're going to meet some of the folks at the Robbins School who are committed to providing an exceptional business education. As you see our mission there, so that we want to prepare and inspire our students to make a positive impact in their organizations, communities, and society. So I want to highlight the red words there. One is to prepare. We have excellent faculty and staff who are committed to ensuring that what we teach and what we impart, knowledge, skills, are relevant to the world of today and the world of tomorrow. I want to make sure you're well prepared. And every conversation I have with alumni and employers tells me that you are going to come out of the Robbins School very well prepared to compete in the world. But we also want to inspire you. We want to create some new ideas, opportunities, have you think about things and possibilities that you may not have thought about before. So we want you to be in the Robbins School and leave the Robbins School thinking about new things and thinking about new ways in which you can apply your skills. And finally, we are here to are committed to making sure that you go out and make a positive impact in the organizations that you're gonna work in or even create, the communities in which you work and live, and the society in which we all live. We want to make sure that the Robbins School is a force for good in the world. And you're also, as was just mentioned, you're here to learn about our majors, various concentrations, and so on and so forth. Now, I suspect there's a couple of different types of students that are joining us tonight. One, some of you came into the University of Richmond knowing exactly what you wanted to study. You knew you wanted to go into business, and you knew exactly what that was about, what that entailed, and you're ready to go. Some of you are here just to see what business is about. You really have no exposure to it. You have no prior knowledge of it. Regardless of which group you're in or somewhere in between, you're welcome here. We're really excited that you're here, and all of you will benefit from tonight, learning more about what we have to offer and what we have as a school. And so we're excited that you're here, no matter how confident you are in what it is that you want to study and what you think business is about. Now, I want to tell you that, and I often like to say that business doesn't occur in a vacuum. Business operates in a context, whether it be a biological context, social, economic, political, environmental, historical, human context. It impacts the way business operates. It impacts the way business responds. And you have to look no further than the effects of the pandemic on the economy, on jobs, on organizations to realize that that is true. And so what that means for you is all the courses that you've taken up till now, the general education courses you've had, whether it be that history course that taught you about what happened back in the pandemic or what happened way back in various social upheavals, the courses you've taken in psychology to understand human behavior, and sociology to understand group behavior, anthropology, art history, the sciences, all of those courses are extremely relevant to your education in business because they help you understand the context, they help you see opportunities, they help you see the challenges and the problems in society that we're here to help solve. And so we believe that at the Robbins School, you're going to be gaining knowledge and skills that you'll need to put human, financial, technical, and organizational resources together to solve these problems. And you do that when you join the Robbins School, you declare that you're committing to the following ideals and values, which are spoken aloud. When you join, we're going to have a declaration ceremony in the spring where you talk about what it is that you're committing to being a member of the Robbins School community. So you commit to striving to act with integrity, to hold yourself and others to the highest ethical standards, to achieve excellence, to be constructive, collaborative, supportive, and inclusive towards others, and to use your business skills and knowledge to positively impact your organization's community and society. And all of those things matter. All of those things are really important. And we'll talk about what that is in the spring, but I would just want to make sure that you know what kind of community you're coming into and what kind of community we are and what are the values and ideals that we strive for and what do we hold ourselves up to. And this statement, as you've probably seen if you've come into the business school building, is posted in both of our main entrances. And I realize that the entrance by Luz doesn't have one, so we need to put one over there to remind us of this. And there's some critical words in there that I want to highlight, the ones around being constructive, collaborative, supportive, and inclusive. Given the complexity of the world and the challenges that we face as a society, as communities, you really need different perspectives. You really need different experiences because no one person is going to have the right experience or the right knowledge, the right perspective. Somebody in your classes, somebody in your class, in your set of classmates that are going to declare this spring will have a different perspective that will complement yours. You have maybe a certain idea. If you look at the large businesses that have been formed in the last many years, it's always been the combination of two individuals or more that have had complementary perspectives, skills, knowledge, and ideas. And so you don't know who that person is. And so it's important for you to get to know everyone, to understand who they are, learn from them. I like to say, and I'll repeat this again when we meet in the spring to do the declaration ceremony, I like to quote Bill Nye, who said, every person that you'll ever meet knows something that you don't. And so when you join the Robbins School, we want to make sure that you're aware and you're committed to learning from each other and using what you're learning in your classes to then apply them to the business, to the problems that you see out there. So again, I want to welcome you tonight. We're so happy that you're here. We're excited about what we're doing. You're going to meet some of our great faculty, staff, department chairs, and everyone who is going to have a biggest impact on you. I'll just say one last thing, and that is when we went remote in the spring, we asked the seniors to reflect back on what was most important, what they remember the most about 4 years at the at University of Richmond and at the Robbins School. And a huge number of them, a disproportionate number, talked about the relationships they had, the conversations they had, and the experiences they had interacting with the faculty and staff of the Robbins School. So that's the kind of place we are. We are a student-centered institution, and we also subscribe to the value of making sure that you have the best skills and knowledge to go out and make a difference. So thanks again. Enjoy this evening, and we look forward to seeing you in our classes and in the school. Oh, and now I'm going to turn it over to Laura Thompson, our Assistant Dean of Undergraduate Student Services. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you, Vicki. I know tonight when you signed up to attend tonight, you signed up to not only attend this main session, but also to attend to what we're calling breakout sessions. And so if you've changed your mind, that's okay. You don't have to go to the ones you signed up for, but just to kind of give you sort of some background and understanding of our choices in the business school, I show you this slide, and you can see that we have 3 majors. The one that's listed there that says business administration, it has a plus mark beside it, because if you choose business administration, then you got to hop to the second box to choose at least one concentration. And so that's why those are listed there. If you choose accounting as a major, you can just be an accounting major, or you can choose a concentration with it if you wish. And if you choose economics major, same thing. You can just be an economics major, or you can choose a concentration if you wish. So that's kind of where, you know, you all, so far, most everybody's been together for econ classes, and we've been together for accounting classes, and maybe your business statistics already. But now we're going to begin to break off into the things that you've decided interest you the most. So tonight's different breakout rooms, we did about the majors and the concentrations. So I'll talk a little bit about concentrations. If you are interested in being not an accounting major, but you think you want to be an accounting concentration, since that isn't quite enough to get you to be an accountant, we actually make you choose another concentration with that. And that's why that one also has a plus there. So you have to pair it with something, right? Same thing for business analytics. You might have an excitement about analytics, but we'd like you to sort of have some analytical specialty in an area. So that's why we have a plus there to say you also need to pair that with another concentration, or with the accounting major, or with the economics major. Economics, you can be a business administration major with a concentration in economics, or finance, or international business. The next two areas are ones that fall under the umbrella of our management department. So that's why I have the little MG there as an abbreviation for management consulting or management entrepreneurship. So you might have some friends who are thinking about being majors in arts and sciences, or majors in the Jepson School. So they'll need to be an entrepreneurship minor, right? Or some of you on our Zoom tonight might actually be thinking about an entrepreneurship minor. But if you're in the business school and interested in entrepreneurship, that would be one of your concentrations. And then the final one on that list is marketing, which you know, you can go to that breakout room later and find out the fun you can have in that concentration. The minors, you can see there that the minors we have are business administration, which is a lot of the kind of foundational coursework that you're going to be with if you're, you know, already taking classes and considering a major. And then the entrepreneurship minor is a little bit fewer. And when you get into those sessions, I'll let them talk about that. I think the main thing to appreciate is that our minors are only for non-Robbins School majors. And I would say a lot of you are, you know, I've already been talking to a lot of you, and you've been saying things like, you know, I went to fill out the form and I wasn't sure what to check that I wanted to go to because I'm just not sure. That is totally what tonight is for. It's okay to not be certain what you want to concentrate in yet. Find out about it tonight. But also know that when you declare your major, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but when you declare your major, you are declaring it for that semester, and you may keep that till you graduate. But if you by junior year change your mind, it's okay. You can switch concentrations. So you don't have to feel like what you declare can never change. It can. So that's kind of the thing I wanted to talk to you about that. So moving from that slide, I wanted to say, so let's talk about, you know, so I know we're sort of in the mindset of, okay, I definitely am thinking I want to do something in the Robbins School, but let's talk about the coursework, because I think next week is when you're supposed to be meeting with your academic advisor, right? Maybe me, maybe somebody else. And so if they're not in the business school, they might not feel confident to guide you about what classes to take. So let's look at this together. Most of you are kind of in this realm of the pre-business realm, finishing these up as first semester sophomores. So please feel very good if you're checking those off as you go along. Our hope is that we're preparing you to be able in this coming spring semester for you to be able to pick up one of the core business classes, or maybe even two or three if you're ready to. And especially, I think if you're thinking about one of those as your concentration, that's going to be a hopefully one we can get you into in the spring. So I'll pick on our marketing concentrators. We'd love for you to be able to get into marketing 320 this spring, so we can see if that's what you're thinking about, that that's what you like. But before you do that, you're going to have to, of course, take in the econs, the first accounting, and be concurrently at least taking business statistics if you haven't taken it already. So you can kind of see that that's that list there. Notice that I have the two classes that are the half units. The first one's called business law. The second one's called business ethics. Oftentimes, students will take that not in the same semester, so they might take it a semester of 4.5 and a semester of 4.5. So that would be something to keep in mind. Then you have your class in your senior year, that strategy class, the one that begins with a 4. So even if you've been close to finishing everything, you're not in any kind of situation yet where you'd be expected to take that before senior year. It's kind of almost forbidden. And then you see the final thing there is where it says you have an international course or study abroad. I know many of you are hoping to go abroad in the fall or even next spring as juniors. If you do not, your curriculum will have to include an international course, but oftentimes there's a course within your concentration that may count for it. For example, if you're doing finance, international finance. Just a moment, please. Hey, John, email Andy because I'm going to be talking until you're going. She will. Sorry, you all. Now, the major concentration, let's talk about that. That's what you're going to find when you get into your breakout rooms, that they're going to talk to you about kind of what's that next level. So pre-business and core business classes you're good on. The major classes you typically aren't able to take until you declare your major. So let's, if I could give you some homework once we're done tonight, to double check for me, please, your grad tracker. And this is very important. You know how you get to grad tracker and you look on it and you can see kind of where you are sequentially. Look where it says major. If your grad tracker says undeclared pre-business, that's wonderful. That's what I want it to say. Or if you were one of those people who was already able to declare early, if it says accounting, business administration, or economics, that's great. Because what that means is you're not going to be blocked from taking classes that you want to take. If it still just says undeclared, we've got trouble. You're ignoring my emails. And so if it helps, just email me and say, okay, I confess I'm one of the ones that says undeclared. What do I do? And I'll help you out, okay? But we need to get you to have it say at least pre-business for you to continue in your program. So that's kind of the coursework stuff. Okay, let's go on to the big deal, which is hopefully what we're heading for in January, which is when you declare, and then we can make it all official. Pat yourself on the back if you have the first box completed, which is that you, by the end of this semester, will have finished Econ 101, finished a calculus class, finished Accounting 201, and have at least a 2.7 GPA. If you do, yes, that's great. I'm noticing that some of you are putting off your Excel competency requirements, so I'm going to take a chance to talk about that. If I'm looking at you and you're feeling guilty, listen to me on this part. The Excel competency part is something that you have to do to declare, obviously, but you have some choices with it. And for your class, the choices that you have are, and you can take here in person, on campus in person, you can take the exam and earn an 80% or higher. And right now we're offering that exam Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and twice on Sunday. So you kind of have it almost every day of the week to choose from. It's in this building up at the top, in the tower area. And you get 3 chances to take it. So I would say if you've been delaying, at least get in there and take it once so you can kind of see what it's asking and how it asks. If you are not here in person, some of you did this summer, this fall already have taken the software tools class. You have to earn at least a B or better in that class, B- or better, to have it count. But since we knew that some students weren't on campus, that was sort of an option that we gave. And if you're not on campus and you haven't taken software tools, your other option is to, wherever you are at home, to sign up for Microsoft 200 certification, which covers that. A few of you, funny enough, already had it in high school. And so it kind of counted already for that, but that's the way that you can achieve your Excel competency. And the reason I am emphasizing what it takes to do to declare is because I want to emphasize the timing of everything. You know how we have that drop add period at the beginning of each semester? Well, the drop add period is actually the time when you declare, right? And so why I would love for you to be eligible to declare in January during that drop add period is because if you declare in January, that means you'll be declared for spring. right? For this, you'll be an official major in the spring. And then not only will I assign you an academic advisor for, who related to your major, related to your concentration, but also you'll be able to apply for scholarships for the Robbins School. And I've been looking at your sophomore class. Your sophomore class, you all are a studious bunch. Your GPAs, grade point averages, are really good. So you should want to be eligible for scholarships. So that's why I'd say, again, get eligible to declare by January. And then a silly side reason, you get your t-shirt. But I think those are kind of the reasons to do it by January. Now, some of you may be in a situation where, for whatever reason, you're not going to be ready to declare by January. You still may declare, it just won't happen probably then till the end of your sophomore year, but you have to declare at least by the start of your junior year. Okay, so that's kind of the requirement. But hopefully I helped impress upon you why I think would be fabulousness if you could declare in January. Okay, most of you get 3,000 emails from me, so you know how to find me if you have extra questions. And so for that reason, I'm going to head us on into thinking from getting into the business school to then thinking about your careers. And Shelley, queuing you up, please.
Great. Thanks, Laura. Well, hello, everybody. Good evening. I am, as you all know, we have a centralized career services team, which has advisors. But in addition to that, in the business school, we have the Center for Professional Development. And our focus, it's not just that you have to do well academically. Employers want to hire people who are professional and they're career ready. But what does that look like, right? And that's what our focus is in the Center for Professional Skills. If you look at the picture on the left, it is a workshop that we taught sophomores where we would help them understand how to introduce themselves. Well, COVID happened, and how that we used to teach that doesn't work. It's not relevant today. And so we've got to get you guys teed up to understand what is relevant, what is expected of you, and what are some career readiness competencies. So why should you care? Well, you should care because that's the differentiator. Employers hire people not only who are smart, but they want people whom they like, and they want people who can add value to their firm. And so there are specific ways and strategies that you can demonstrate that. One of the ways that we prepare students, Business Beyond the Classroom, is through a conference called Q Camp. Next slide, please. So Q Camp is a business boot camp. Historically, it's a 2-day, it's a nationally recognized program. We take sophomore business students in January. Again, the timing of that is you've just declared as a business student. And so we do this at January 29th and 30th of each year at the end of the January of your sophomore year. This year, because of COVID and other circumstances, we will do it virtually. However, that doesn't mean that we're not going to have a highly interactive and engaging experience. Some of the topics that we will talk about include how do you, what are some virtual skills to present yourself well on Zoom for meetings like this? What are some ways employers are now seeking students? For example, employers this fall, everything was virtual in terms of recruiting. So how do you position yourself and what skills do you need to differentiate yourself and do well? So another topic that we have, and I'll talk about, somebody just asked about declaration. I'll talk about that in just a moment. But another topic that we'll have is on unconscious bias and how you make what kind of impression you make. We'll also do one-on-one coaching sessions, and we'll have recruiters talk about strategies for effective engagement with employers. Next slide, please. One of the things I love about Q Camp, and we have done this since 2008, is that we have breadth and depth of employers. Employers love access to sophomores. Why? Because they want to get to know you. And it's mutually beneficial for you as a sophomore to connect with alumni, corporate partners, businesses which are represented here, for example, because it gives you an opportunity to practice your skills and to understand what are the career competencies that are expected of you to be successful in the internship process, for example. Next slide, please. So let me talk about eligibility, which is one of the questions somebody asked in the chat. Laura talked about giving you all some homework, and it ties in beautifully with eligibility. So right now, we're going to be, you have to be pre-business declared. If you are undeclared only, you will not get the email that we will send to all eligible sophomores We'll send you an email November 15th at noon. That's a Sunday. And it's basically first come, first serve. Our goal is to take 150 students. We'll probably expand that because we are going virtual. But it is something that you will not get the email if you are undeclared only. So per Laura's suggestion to get work with her and get formally declared, undeclared pre-business, that benefits you. I should also note, if you're an entrepreneurship minor, if you're A&S Econ, Math Econ, you are more than welcome to apply as well. So this is for business majors and minors and the A&S Econ, Math Econ students. As I mentioned, the conference is virtual. It'll be the last weekend of January, the 29th and 30th of 21. We hope to make it very engaging. It should not be just didactic. And more details to come on that. I'll actually, the first 2 weeks of November, be coming into the accounting classes, Accounting 201, 202, to briefly talk about it and to remind you that registration is coming up. If you have any questions, again, I'm at sburns.richmond.edu. So thanks so much, and back to you, Laura.